Ooh la 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 la. What is happening, beautiful people? Okay, so this is Chapcast episode 64, April 2025. Let's have it. Okay, so I've been going through the archive as usual with my spade, just digging nicely, and all that. Yeah, and I've been coming across loads of these recordings I've got of different gigs that I've played over the years. So I thought I'll share them with you one by one, month by month. Love it. And yeah, the majority of them I'm supposing that Mr. Des Jones has recorded for me. Yeah, definitely was Des Jones who recorded all of these shows for me. Love you, Des. Cheers, mate. Nice one. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Okay, so this month we've landed on a gig that was around 13 years ago. If you can work that out, 2010, maybe 2011, 2012, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I'm always trying to create new bands and stuff. And we did actually create a band in the end, and we called it the John Chapman Band because at the time it's just so hard to keep a band together. It's best to just call it your name, and then members that come and go around you, doesn't matter, does it? It's all good, all nice. See you later. But I love it. All right, yeah, so this particular gig was a show that I played at a venue called the Lucky Pig, which is off of Great Portland Street in the West End. It is the road that runs between Tottenham Court Road and Great Portland Street, and I cannot remember the name of it, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, so this particular venue was called the Lucky Pig, and it's like a small cocktail bar. It suits acoustic musicians better than bands, I'd say, because it's a bit little. But this particular gig was an acoustic gig, but I had started putting the John Chapman Band together, and I had found this guy. His name's Paul Hammel. Bit of history there over the past. I've probably spoke about it a lot in previous episodes of Chapcast, but I don't think we've ever covered this gig in particular. Yeah, so I mean, basically when I'm bandless and I need to find members or whatever, you're going on Gumtree, all social media sort of places, Bandcamp. There's loads anyway. So when I'm on my jacks, I usually go to the internet and start searching for people. Came across this guy who's called Paul Hammel, guitarist. He started coming to my house, and we just started rehearsing, sort of thing. The two of us in my front room. Lot cheaper than going down the old studios and all that. So, but when the minute you start getting drummers involved, you have to go down the old studios and that. But yeah, to start off with, it was just me and Paul, and yeah, and we was rehearsing in my front room, living room, whatever you want to call it. It's not actually even the front room in this house. But yeah, so me and Paul going through all the stuff that I had. There's lots of tunes around. Anyway, so after meeting up 6 times or something, I said to him, should we go and play a gig in a pub or something? And he's like, yeah, sweet, let's do it, coming in, nice. So I went. I think the promotion company that I got this gig through was probably Hotvox, because I'm sure that they do nights at the Lucky Pig. I might be wrong. It might be another promotion company. Very sorry if I've got that wrong. Yeah, so yeah, me and went down there, got on the old C2 or the 88 as it is now, and went down to Great Portland Street. Obviously, I had my missus Angie and my mate Des with his camera, and he's recording the device. Yeah, so yeah, Des is a top geezer. But yeah, so I went down there, and then Paul met me down there with his amp and his guitar. I think
Control center.
He's old. Sorry about that. His old girl dropped him there in her car. We went into the venue, had a couple of drinks, and watched whoever was before us. And then we got up onto the stage, the tiny stage, the really little stage. But it's all right for two of you, you know what I mean? Two guitars, sweet. Yeah, and yeah, basically this, I'm quite sure that this was the first show that me and Paul did together. And yeah, and so we got on the stage, and our first track that we do is called There's a Reason. And yes, have a listen, and we will talk in a sec. Nice one.
I'm John Chapman. This is Paul Hammel. And this first tune is called There's a Reason. It's natural. You're in a place you'll never know. Make believe it's all you hear. Just close your eyes, man, and see the bed. There's a reason that I feel this feelings that I feel. There's a reason that I feel these feelings for her. Wake up in a place when you're new to keep face. Walk the line and wish you hope. Wish you is. You'll never know. There's a reason that I feel these feelings that I feel. There's a reason that I feel these feelings for her. She makes me cry when she's gone. She makes me die, yeah, when she's gone. All her times, what I need, I know she's going to see my grief. There's a reason that I feel these feelings for her. There's a reason that I feel these feelings for her. Cheers.
I can hear Frank laughing, going, yeah, 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 yeah. It's definitely Frank. Love you, mate. Yeah, so that was There's a Reason. Again, I'm not going to go deep into the songs because I've probably explained things about them in the past. So just go back and have a look through the other vids. I'm sure they'll excite you. Yeah, so Paul he's a great guitarist, the fella. He is a great guitarist. He's probably a little bit heavy from what do you know what I mean? For my genre, my little, do you know what I mean? Look at music he's a bit heavy for me, I think, but he's a great musician. Bit of a troubled guy. But yeah, life is what it is for each and every different person. Okay, so we are going to move on now to Gullible. All right, have a listen. Nice one.
Gullible. It's about lemmings. When the shit is the fan, don't run plan, they can't follow the leader. The cracks are plenty, when it's empty, they can't follow the leader. It's just like a computer game. It's
Nice. Yes. And that was Gullible. Yeah. Top tune. Yeah. That Lucky Pig is a top little venue, especially for acoustic musicians. You know what I mean? Like, you go down there, take about eight of your friends, and like there'd be three or four other acts on who got somewhere between 0 and 8 or whatever, and the venue gets packed out nicely. You know what I mean? It's a nice job, and yeah, it was a good night. I remember that night. Yeah, good night. Okay, let's move on to a tune called "Take Me Back," and this song was written for my friend who passed away, Barney. Yeah, have a listen, see what you think. Nice one.
I wrote this song for a pal of mine who passed away. This one's for Barney. Love ya. Take me back to a lifetime before. Do not ask for more than that.
love that song. I really, really love that song. Amazing. Okay, so we'll move on to the next tune, which is a song called No One Knows Him. I wrote this song with a guy called Amon Amazande back when we was, I don't know, 14 years old. It's been with me throughout. I've played it in numerous bands and yeah, it's such a great song. It just sort of sticks with you, you know what I mean? Like, top track. Yeah, so so we're gonna play No One Knows Him right now. I think that Paul's guitar on this song is a little overkill, if you know what I mean. Like, personally, the original lead guitarist on this track, Josh Wilson, I think what he did on this track made the track, you know what I mean? When this song, like, me and Amon wrote it, you know what I mean, we wrote the words and probably the structure of the song and the chords and all that sort of stuff, and then we took it to Josh and let him do his thing, and that was great. And then Jamie, I suppose, would have put the bass line to it, and then Matty Benson would have put the drums to it. But it's one of them songs that just sort of, it's been around since I was like 14 years old. I'm now 43, and currently the band I'm in, the Filthy Groove, we haven't actually delved into No One Knows Him yet. I don't know why. It's a great song. Let's have a listen. Mwah.
With a little bit of Paul Hammel. Ready, yeah? Right, that's a weird one. Wake up and look in the mirror. My reflection looks back at me, yeah. The guy who looks so familiar, who I rarely see. Cheers.
Yes, and that was No One Knows Him. Great song. Definitely, it's in the top 10 songs that I've ever had something to do with writing. Definitely. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so let's move on. Oh, right. Yes, and now we will... it's a song called Black Blanket that was influenced by what's happened to my eyesight. And this is definitely in the top 3 songs that I've ever written. Yeah, so, yeah, amazing. I mean, it brings, like, I can remember writing this song, and then I went downstairs to where my mum was, and I was like, Mum, you got to hear this song that I've written, like, and I played it to her. And it was mad because it brought a tear to my mum's eye, like, because it's, you know what I mean, if you delve into the lyrics and you start feeling it, do you know what I mean? It would bring a tear to my mum's eye, you know what I mean? Some of you big fellas probably like, so pick it. No, but it is a beautiful song, amazing song. And yeah, what else can I say? But have a listen, nice one.
I've been told that we've got 2 tunes left, so this one's called Black Blanket. Please let my light shine again. What's this darkness heaven sent? Will I pass this life test and see the darkness beneath the brightness? You've met the people that you needed. My English rose will stay complete. I'll meet the dark, holding a candle, and then my life will come full circle. Black blanket, is where I'll be in the time when I can't see. Black blanket wrapped around me, keep me warm when I can't see. Looks like we're in a stationary time. Keep up your chin and let it shine. And for no reason to feel down, just give it up and feel the sound. Black blanket is where I'll be in the time when I can't see. Black blanket wrapped around me, keep me warm when I can't see. Night's falling, starry sky. This black blanket across my eyes. Black blanket, swear I'll be in the time when I can't see. Black blanket wrapped around me, keep me warm when I can't see. Thank you.
Yes, and that was Black Blanket. Great song. Love it. Okay, so we have got to the end of this gig because it looks like we've only played 6 songs, which I like to usually say to sound men behind the desk, 10, 10. But 6 looks like it's 6. Okay, so we're going to end this gig on a tune called Jack the Ripper. Now, this song is being played by my current band, and it goes down as one of our best songs. Well, anyway, I wrote this song back in like 2010 or whatever, and it's one of them songs where I used to play it to myself and that, and I used to think, oh god, this song is stupid, I can't play this to the world, it's just going to be for me, hidden in the cupboard or the archive. And so I remember when Paul was coming to my house to learn songs and that, I remember I had my laptop downstairs and we was going through a load of songs, and I was showing him before we was going to do them or whatever, because sometimes I asked him to copy the lead guitar that was on it from before or whatever. And so we're going through this list, and then he spotted a song, Jack the Ripper, and he's like, Jack the Ripper, what's that? And I was like, oh, don't worry about that one. And he's like, oh, well, at least let me hear it. And I was like, oh, all right, sweet. So I played him the acoustic version that I'd recorded, like, and then he was like, he was like, that is the best song I've ever heard. And I was like, Paul, I said, I'm not greatly proud of it, you know what I mean? And he's like, come on man, we've got to play it. And he wouldn't shut up asking me, and in the end I just said, all right, sweet, come in, let's rehearse it and we'll play it at the show or whatever. And yeah, but it's mad because we played it and whatever this one time, and I think it was the only gig we played it in. Anyway, years later we sort of lost touch, we weren't talking for 3 or 4 years or whatever. And then a few years back I started a band with a lady called Rosemary, and I've forgotten what the bass player's name was, but we started a band called The Kites, and Paul was the lead guitarist, the original lead guitarist. And he was just like, at one of the rehearsals, we've got to play Jack the Ripper. And then Rosemary and the bass player were like, what's Jack the Ripper? And I was like, oh, don't worry, it's just a song like that I wrote. You know what I mean? It's a bit of a silly tune or whatever. I don't. So anyway, they was like, well, we've got to show it to us now. Paul said this or whatever. I was like, all right, sweet. So I showed it to the other members of the Kites, and they loved it as well. So boom, we started playing it in the Kites. Then Paul leaves the Kites and Artem joins the Kites, and obviously Artem just fills in whatever set we was doing at the time, and Jack the Ripper was part of it. Anyway, the Kites failed and just fell to pieces, and do you know what I mean? And then me and Artem started the Filthy Groove with Zepp and Callum, and that was part of what, do you know what I mean? In the beginning of the Filthy Groove, we just needed to play what we knew or whatever. And then he was like, Jack Ripper. And again, Callum and Zepp love it as well, do you know what I mean? So, and now it's like, people are asking for it at our gigs. Yeah, gotta play Jack Ripper, play Jack Ripper. And you're a bit like, oh, all right. But I mean, because we've got like a full band recording we've done of it in a studio, and it's a great song. I think it's great now. I love it, and I'll definitely stick it in one of my top 10 songs ever written. But yeah, let's have a listen, and then I'll pop back and say goodbye. Nice. This one's called Jack the Ripper. From Jack the Ripper.
tonight. Was Jack the butcher? Was Jack the saint? Was Jack the doctor? Unknown he remains. Jack's on the lookout for the ladies of the night. Well, you better watch out. Could be your turn tonight. If you'd like to like our Facebook page, it's /John Chapman 81. Love ya.
Nice. Okay, yeah, so that was Jack the Ripper. Yeah, you got to come and grab a Filthy Groove gig and listen to it live. It is great. Okay, yeah, so I mean, I think this is probably a little bit of a shorter one because it's less tunes and all that. Yeah, so thank you for listening, and if you would go and subscribe, smash bells, comment, like, all that sort of stuff, you know what I mean? Like, I think it helps me out. Hopefully we can get this out to more and more people, and get on my old chat towels as well. There's some funny stories there. Yeah, get on it. Nice one. Thank you for listening. Cheers. Speak to you next time. What?